What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Fire Session podcast. I'm your girl, Daci J, here with my boy, Big Ken. What is going on, Big Ken?
Whoo, busy week, busy week. I don't even know like what the old folks say. I can't call it. I can't call it. Golly. Like I'm telling y'all, I told y'all last week I had a busy week. Again, another busy week. The
I
world is
feel you.
officially open for Ken, and I'm having to adjust. I'm having to adjust.
I'm not. I'm not happy to adjust. This has been a crazy week for me. Like recordings and then y'all, these lash vendors. Oh my God. Like everything is coming into play. Can't see my logo today, y'all. So it's happening.
Got some big things popping. You know what I'm saying? We trying to elevate a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We trying to grow a little bit. You know how we do.
Yes. Speaking of money, we
Mm.
got something juicy going on tonight, Big Ken.
Yeah. I mean, you said juicy, so you know I'm gonna
This
rock.
is dope.
I'm gonna
This
rock
is
with that.
dope. This is going to be a dope. This is going to be a dope show, y'all. We
Yeah,
got
yeah, yeah.
something
Definitely,
money related about to go down.
definitely, definitely.
You're a mess. Talk about definitely. Tell them what's going on, Big Ken. Don't keep them in suspense.
Y'all, I like to bring people on the show that you know what I'm saying could add some value to your life, right? That are doing interesting things. And I like to bring you people that you may not know personally. You may not
Fact.
have heard of them before, but everybody that we've interviewed so far on the show are people that are on the rise that you will hear a lot from in the future. And we're
Yes.
just blessed enough to have them early. So maybe as we climb and they climb, we can look back a couple years and be like, you know what? Remember when we had
Mm-hmm.
them on the show?
Yep.
We told y'all
Yep.
they were gonna be big, and we got another person tonight that I'm very happy to bring you. He's got a great story, very entertaining guy. I'm telling you right now, when he gives you his social media information, go straight to his pages and
Do.
follow him because you will be entertained and inspired,
Yes.
right? So a lot of the stuff he says, you're gonna see some names, you're gonna see some connections that you might know, and that you might be like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. Okay. But I'm telling you, the main thing I want you all to get tonight is his story. It's inspirational. It's one where literally when you say, well, you know, you hear everybody now talking about, I got it out the mud. I got it out the
Right.
mud.
Right.
This guy actually got it out the mud, y'all. And I know he can tell you his story better than I can. I want to bring on to the show tonight's guest, Mr. Hellion Knight, Young Money Bug. Y'all, I'm telling you, get ready for a big time interview.
Yes.
Welcome, Young Money Bug, to the show.
Man, what's good? What's good? Appreciate y'all, man. I'm happy to be on here, bro. I ain't lying.
Oh yeah. Like I said, I was happy to book you and be able to present you to the people, man, because I've watched you grow over the years and I've seen your story. I've watched you go from driving all over the place to support these kids, and you know what I'm saying, just you know, chasing your dream and helping others chase their dream as well. So that in itself was inspiring to me, and I was like, man, you know what? When I was thinking of guests, I told Daci, I said, I gotta have my boy Boog on so we can introduce him to our people and tell his story, man. So we'll start out the interview with just telling the people where you from, because that's interesting in itself.
Man, look, I'm from a small town called White Castle, Louisiana, man, made up about maybe 2,000 people, one red light, right outside of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? You probably never heard of it. If you pass through it, if you blink, you're gonna miss it. You know what I mean? Never the cane fields, like
Wow.
the real mud, the real dirt, the real cane fields, one gas station, no food, no
Dang.
fast food, no none of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm out the bottom for real.
And I'm gonna tell y'all what, like I said, if you follow his social media, you'll see the interesting characters that are in this town. It's a small town, but it's it's some interesting characters that have helped shape and mold his life. That I'm telling you, you just got to see it to believe it.
No, for sure.
Entertaining all day long.
I love
So
him to death, man.
So tell us more about maybe your upbringing. Let's start there because there's so many layers to this dude, man. Tell us about your upbringing and where did all this inspiration come from?
Man, just being myself, man, coming from where I came from, bro. It's so much, man. It's hard for me to even put it all in words, but to give you the brief of it. Like I say, small town kid, you know what I'm saying, in the middle of nowhere. Grew up fighting for everything I had. I had anything I got, I had to fight for. You know what I'm saying? I always counted out, always the kid. You're not gonna do this, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? This coming from people who I looked up to, older than me, people who I ran with, you know, dipping and dabbling off in the streets. And at the time, you know what I'm saying, I was playing basketball, you know, got a big basketball background. At the end of the day, I always say, you know, God gave me basketball to save my life because if it wasn't for that, ain't no telling where I was gonna end up at. And my high school coach first told me, you know, he's like, man, it's gonna be a meal ticket. You know what I'm saying? I never knew what he understood at the time. So then, but as it came out, he was right. Like basketball taking me all over the world and helped shape my life and helped get me out of the circumstances that I was in. Also helped my family as well. So like I say, man, grew up fighting for everything. Like I say, physically, mentally, spiritually, whatever it was, it's always been a fight with me. So that's why even to this day, I'm not scared to fight for anything. Like if we need to fight, we're gonna fight. I'm surprised if I don't have to fight. Put it like that. So like if you tell me something gonna go smooth, I'm coming there preparing for a fight. And if it goes smooth, you tell me it was, then I'm gonna get ready for the next fight. I know the fight coming so well online. And man, like I said, I just been blessed, bro. Coming up out of that, you know what I'm saying? Like all the grandkids living in one home. You know, I stayed with my grandmother most of the time, and my grandfather, you know, because my grandfather passed away, so my grandmother, like, really, like, 9 of us in a 3-bedroom house, you know what I'm saying? No hot water, no none of that. You know, put that water on the stove and boil that pot. I ain't know what, you know, running hot water was really, you know what I'm saying? So I got to college and got my own, you know, my dorm room with a you know, a dorm mate and all that.
Yeah.
But even then, you know what I'm saying, it was normal to me. Like, I didn't think nothing of it. I look back on it now, like, that really wasn't normal. Like, not to have hot water, like, but it's cool. But, you know what I'm saying, everybody got their own story, bro. And like I said, it's a lot of things that shaped me, you know, whether it be coming home to, like, you know what I'm saying, if there be no running water that night before, you just got to go to the gym early in the morning, go get a workout in at school and just shower at school and go to class and act like everything was all right. You know, it's a lot of humble beginnings, man.
And see, I don't think people understand, when people come from those situations, I don't think people understand it because they haven't had to go through it and how much that pushes you to, achieve things because you've had those circumstances and you don't even know you're in those circumstances a lot of times of how hard they are until you look back at it in retrospect and you see, man, that was not something that was ordinary. That was something that was, what I'm saying, hard times, but it propelled you to, push yourself and be who you are today.
Because no matter what, I feel like I'm always be all right, regardless of what the circumstance or what the outcome look like. Like, I'm gonna be fine, regardless. Why I'm not scared to lose. You know what I'm saying? When you came in this thing with nothing, you ain't scared to lose. Like, I feel like I was born to lose anyway, but I'm built to win. And at the end of the day, man, like, I done took all my losses. All my losses been lessons. And they prepared me. So I'm not scared to go without. I'm not scared to take that chance. I'm not scared to fall on my face because I know I'm going to get back up. And a lot of that has a lot to do with, when I think back on it, like, I do it unconsciously, but when you sit back and put everything in retrospect, it's like, wow. Like, really, it's because I went through that then that I'm grateful for it now. Like, so even then, now when I get, even if it's less, I feel like I'm still blessed today. So, man, I'm blessed to be alive. If we really talking.
And I think when you go through those type of situations, you have a greater appreciation for the blessings that you do get later on, which we're gonna get to how much this young man is blessed and the things that he's been able to accomplish coming out of the situations that he just explained to you. You hear stories like this all the time. I remember listening to a Shannon Sharp interview, and he had similar story to to what you just said, coming from that type of household where you had cousins and siblings living there at the same time at the grandparents' house, no running water, but it propelled them to greatness. So sometimes those hard times are necessary, when you're younger, to propel you to do something great when you're older. So what I want to talk about first of all is basketball is a huge portion of your life and a huge portion of your story. But when was the first time you started playing basketball? Like, what even inspired you to play basketball in the first place?
Right, kid. If you go back into the history, I'm pretty sure like others don't know this, but you might can attest to this. Basketball being a part of me, probably basketball chose me before I knew what it was. You know what I'm saying? Running around Parkland campus in Waco. That's before it even came to Dallas. My dad was a black college All-American. Him, Avery Johnson, a lot of Anthony Mason, a lot of those guys were on the same black All-American college team back in the 80s. So when my dad played ball at Paul Quinn, I used to always be the baby running around on campus with them. So I would be in the gym. And just so happened, if don't give me the bottle, give me the ball. The ball kept me busy while they did what they did. And it just went from there. And so basketball been with me since as long as I can remember.
Wow. So when your coach told you that basketball would be something that would be important to you, he really meant that, and you really took that and ran with it, because when we get to these other pieces of your life and other great things you did, a lot of that involves basketball, but it also involves you being able to help these other young men after your playing career was over, and be able to, to put some people out there. And we gonna name drop. We got to name drop, because we got to let the people know who these young men are and the people that you're connected with. But we'll get to that later. We won't. We don't want them to get that too early. You know what I'm saying? So, Daci, you got any questions so far?
You good, Ken. My questions are for later.
Okay, yeah, I know her question was coming later. Okay, so what I want you to talk about next is when you first got to college, leaving the small town where you are right now. Like, talk about your college experience, and then on past college. I know you kept playing basketball then as well. So talk to the people about your basketball career from college and professional.
Okay. So like I said, my coach told me, that was my meal ticket. Like I said, I didn't understand what that meant. I just knew that I had became good at it. Like I used to be a man kid. I used to fight a lot. So that was my thing. We fought coming up. And I like to say, just it prepared me for the fight of life. Because you're not gonna take nothing from me. I don't care who you are, you're not taking nothing from me. I don't care. We sitting here and we got a business meeting, whatever. If I'm negotiating stuff, I'm gonna get what I need and then some. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. So when I went out to college, my first freshman year, I left a small town in South Louisiana, like I said, at the bottom of the map. I went to Western Wyoming Community College. I went to a junior college, man. I didn't have the grades to go Division 1. I was like I said, I was halfway in the streets, barely went to school half time. Like the basketball season, you might see me at school every now and then. You know what I'm saying? So I was out doing other things, dice games, you know what I'm saying, in the street, whatever, just doing whatever. And I didn't understand at the time. So me making it to junior college was a blessing. Not understanding, but also my dad convinced me to go to Western Wyoming. I had a few other little JUCO offers because I wasn't qualified to play Division 1 basketball because of grades, not talent. So he convinced me, and it never dawned on me that he wanted me far away from home as possible because I was getting so much while I was there. He wanted me far away. And I don't know how he felt like I was prepared I could do that because, like I say, coming from South Louisiana, going to Wyoming, man, I got to campus August 13th, the day after my birthday, something like that, around that day. Man, by August 20th, it was snowing. Like, man, I'm from the South Louisiana, bro. Don't know where we at. So I was getting up at 5 a.m., going to, conditioning before class, lifting weights, running in the mountains in snow, you know what I'm saying, snot coming out my nose, wanting to quit every single day because it was just so different. Like the basketball, it wasn't the basketball. Basketball was fine. When I stepped on the court, man, I was probably, if not the best player on the team, one of the best, you know what I'm saying, when it came to that. I was prepared for that. But the other mental battles outside of basketball, being so far away from home, having what I thought was a girlfriend back home, and it was just that mental battle of, man, why I'm way up here? I could go. I got friends that's in school in Florida. I got friends in school in Texas, in Louisiana. Man, maybe I should transfer back closer to home, man. This is crazy. I'm one state away from Canada. Like, so that battle, I cried nights. I mean, in my dorm, brother, just laying in my bed. And I remember my dad had told me this before, and this was like some of the best advice he gave me that stuck with me throughout the rest of my life was, you're going to get there, you're going to have other people going to be complaining. It's going to have other people that's going to be whining, this, that, and the other. If they whine, they complain, you just get up and walk out. Don't sit there, don't complain with them. And again, not knowing why he telling me, he said, anytime if they complain about anything, I don't care if it's the smallest thing, you just get up and walk out. You ain't got to, whatever. When I got there, it was other players from other areas, and they complained about, how cold it was. They complained about waking up early. They complained about the food not good, which it wasn't good. You know what I'm saying? They complained about everything. It was, the time difference. We 2 hours behind. So at that time, you only talked on the phone at free after 9 p.m. You know what I'm saying? They got a cell phone. It wasn't no unlimited hours. You had to wait till 9. So us waiting till 9 in Wyoming, it's 11 back home. Remember, my girlfriend still, she was senior in high school, so 11, she probably about to wrap it up and take it in. So by the time we done with our day and night, so it's like, so you better talk to your people at home too, because you behind on time. And I just remember them nights, man, and friends would complain. And to be honest with you, I was the only one that stayed at the Christmas break. All of them left except for me. I was the only black kid left on the team. All white boys after that. So I'm the only black kid from the south in a predominantly white city, all white teammates. And I just remember crying, bro. And again, my dad had that advice of don't complain, just, you know what I'm saying, take it as it come. And also he told me it's gonna be nice. You're gonna want to cry to come home. And he said, look, cry, don't bring your ass home. So I sat my bed, I cried till I couldn't cry no more, man. So that experience was, like I said, it shaped me for the rest of my life, because again, when I left there, man, I done lived all over the world since. Like, after living there was nowhere I had a problem with living after that. I left school in May, and my coach took another job. My assistant coach took another job in Kansas. He brought me with him. So I left school in May. Like I said, it snowed like August 20th. It was snowing. I left in May. It still had snow on the ground. Like,
oh my God.
bro, it's a crazy experience that, but it shaped me for the rest of my life.
So what about after college, when you tore it up, scored, got buckets, you know what I'm saying, put on for White Castle on the college level. You also played professionally. So talk to the people about playing professional ball, because there's a lot of people out there who wish to do that, me being one of them, but I ain't make it that far. So talk to the people, let us know how your professional experience was.
Man, that was all God. Like I say, because I transferred to Kansas that next year with my a JUCO called Kobe College in the Jayhawk Conference, one of the toughest JUCO conferences in the country, like night in, night out battles. So JUCO, and if anybody know anything about JUCO, it's a grind, it's a dog eat dog world. Like you gotta be built different to make it through JUCO. Like, you know what I'm saying, you got kids getting off the bus with backpacks, and that's probably all they came to school with. So they coming to take everything that they, you know what I'm saying, they trying to take whatever they can. And again, you ain't taking nothing from me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not the one you're gonna take from. You know what I'm saying? I give you, I help you out. But you know what I'm saying, if it's out of my last, you're gonna spit it, we all gonna eat, but you ain't taking it from me. So that experience there already was already a heck of an experience. And then I got a call from when I transferred from Wyoming to Kansas to Kobe. In between then, I just remember it was like life kind of settled in and kind of changed me in the sense of my dreams and my aspirations. Like my route kind of changed mentally, because I mean, my dad worked at a plastic refinery, a plant back home in Louisiana. He had been out long I can remember him working, you know what I'm saying, like 13 years at the time. And he called like, man, I just got laid off. You know, I'm saying, like, I ain't never know my dad not to ever work. Like, the reason I stayed with my grandmother most of the time because he worked a lot. And then a lot of times I stayed at his house, which was up the road, we would never see each other because I'm running the streets all night. You know what I'm saying? I might come in, by the time he gone.
Okay, I think we lost audio on there.
Can you
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yo.
Okay. So all of that took place, man. And it's just like, I never know my dad not to have a job. So for him to not have a job, kind of like, at that time, I'm 18 years old, it kind of threw me for a loop. Like, wow, well, my dad really not working. Like, he talking about going to get unemployment. Like, I ain't, like, that was new to me. Pops always worked. Mom had just retired. She was just tired of being in a job. She had been there so many years. So she retired early and walked away from it, and like trying to figure out what she about to do in life. So at that point, I feel like, well, my college, I already hated school. If we just being honest, I always hated school with a passion. So that's when I made up my mind that, man, I'm about to go get this money. You know what I'm saying? 19 years old, like this next year, I was 19. I went to a pro exposure camp in Germany. Like, I made my mind, I'm not going to a 4-year school. I'm going to get paid, and I'm going to take care of my family. So I went to camp at 19. Long story short, I killed the camp. One of the best players, if not the top player at the camp at 19. And at the time, they frowned upon taking young Americans to these countries or whatever because they felt like you weren't mature enough to survive over there. You know what I'm saying? I grew up fast. Again, I'm a fighter. So I didn't understand it. I just know I'm going to take care of my people. So whatever you put in front of me, I'm going to eat it. Killed the camp, got a deal. At the time, I was the youngest American pro player in Europe. Got a deal in Europe. And I dropped out of school to go pursue professional basketball. So that's how I ended up overseas. And then it goes back to Coach Johnson, my husband, telling me this is your meal ticket. So
yeah,
little did I know, I went to college already for free for 2 years after he told me that. So I had 2 years of schooling under my belt. Then I went to college, play pro ball. started getting paid for it, helping put things in perspective, as how that went. And then from that to like basketball is set a way for me to get paid ever since then. Like I even went back and got my college degree years later, for free because now it went from me playing basketball, it went from me
Wow.
helping others play basketball. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah.
basketball is making a way.
Yeah, and that's what we want to get to next. After he played professional basketball, he kept going, right? And like a lot of people who play basketball, everybody kind of, I think, wants to be a coach, but a lot of people aren't good at coaching. Let's just be honest. Not everybody who played can coach.
Thanks.
That transition proves to be difficult for a lot of these guys who have tried it. But Boog has been one of those people who has been successful at coaching, and because he loves the sport, but he also has a love for helping people. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, I think as a coach, you have to have those two things at the very core of it. Like you got to love the game and you got to love people in order for you to be successful. And that's what he does. So let's talk about that. Where did you start your coaching career? Like, you know what I'm saying? Was it at a high level? Was it, young kids? Or
my coaching level started at a very low level. NAIA, Black College Experience, Talladega College was actually my first stop. Like I said, I came back to play from playing basketball. I had injuries, took me away from basketball. I got 2 pins in both of my Achilles right now. I had 5 ankle surgeries. So the basketball went flat for me at some point. So I had a relationship with a guy who was at Talladega College in Alabama who told me, like, man, you come here, you get at the time, I don't know if I remember this, like you could only be like, I think Obama offered you to get insurance, you had to still be in school to be on your parents' insurance and this, that, and the other. If you was over like 23, whatever at the time. So I really go enroll in college just so I could get paperwork to give my mom to put me on her job insurance. So I need to have surgery, but I couldn't have these surgeries. I couldn't afford it. No work, no nothing. So that's why I really went there. When I went there, he ended up talking me into, to coaching with him. So I ended up coaching that first year at any high school. That was the first year the program had a basketball program in like 10 years. So we went back there, restarted the basketball program. We won that championship the first year.
Wow. So that was the first year.
That was the first year. First year. They hadn't had athletics in 10 years.
Wow.
So we brought all athletics back that year. And that first year, we put a team together and we won that championship, a USCA national championship. And then went from there, I transitioned out to try to go, after I got all my surgeries, got all my stuff taken care of that I actually went for. I tried to go back and play ball again. And at that point, my body was so broken down, bro. I could never rebuild my body to get back. No matter how much I fought or whatever, it just kept every time another surgery, end up in a wheelchair and having to learn how to walk again. Couldn't run for 2 years. So the basketball thing just kind of, like, God removed it from me, but he still gave me basketball, if that makes sense. He took basketball, but gave me more basketball. And then I went from there and when they all broke down again, I went to Paul Quinn under Coach Bourne at Paul Quinn that year, whatever helped him and whatnot. Again, stipend job, man, made like, what it was, like $1,300 for the whole season. Riding yellow buses to games, like crazy buses breaking down like this. That was my start to my coaching experience. But again, I know no better. Like, we laughed about it. I didn't know that this was normal. You know what I'm saying? Coach telling me, man, we're not supposed to take yellow buses. We in college. Like, cool. I rode the yellow bus when I was younger, so whatever. I didn't know that there was a certain protocol about college sports. And when you put up to the bench, he like, man, people gonna be laughing at us. Like, he used to be mad, like furious. I just like, cool. Like, but I didn't get it. But now that I look back, I'm like, bro, that wasn't right. Like, it wasn't supposed to be that way. But now, you on a yellow bus, man. Imagine you taking trips on a yellow bus. Normally, if you travel bus, it's charter. It's mandatory in college.
Charter.
Like, it's mandatory somehow we couldn't get it, so we just had to do yellow bus. I don't know how they got that approved. I don't know who approved. It probably wasn't even approved. It probably just happened. I still don't know to this day. So you taking these hour trip, no restrooms on the bus. You're on a yellow bus, so it's certain things that you have to travel by. These standards that we didn't follow none of them. So, but with that being said, we still had a great season that year. Had the largest loss to win turnaround ratio from the previous season in the country, regardless of any level, Division I all the way down to NAIA. We won 20 plus games, which if you're a college coach, you win 20 plus games in college, that's a big season. You had a good season. So we still won 20 plus games, and like I say, went from there that year and then transitioned over to Lamar State College. And that's when my life took a change and a turn that I didn't know, but it happened. And like I say, I know it was on God. He moved me from there to a junior college in Port Arthur, Texas. And that's where I met my guy, Coach Kyle Carriger, who happened to be, again, we on stipends, making at this time. Now when I transfer over, now I'm making $231 a month. And that's basically a stipend to drive the kids around because we didn't have on campus housing. So we had to put them in off-campus apartments, and then on the way to get the players to and from school and the gym was to drive vans. So I had to drive a van every morning, all day, pretty much like shuttle, and I got paid $231 a month. And my roommate was there, and he left at the break. He had this dream about starting a AAU team and helping these kids. So I'm coaching grown men, and like I dealt with them well. Like the head coach, like they would go at him, but I was the only one who could always keep everybody intact. Like, nah, bro, like they related to me, and at the time I was younger too. I was like 23, 22. Each kid 18, 19, 20. So, but I still had their respect, and like certain things that they would try to do, like I could always talk them out of it. And then that's when I kind of started exploring and figuring out I had a different gift somewhere along the lines. And then when Coach Kyle started this kids program, Southern Elite, he took me with him. He wanted me to come share that gift with the younger kids. So I went from coaching that college from August to March. Then from like March through the summer, I was doing kids. So I was doing both at a time, and then that's when I discovered that I was great with kids, and I had something that they were missing because they were a lot of kids. When I looked in their eyes, I seen a lot of me in them, and I felt like if I could be to them what I felt like I needed, I could help change their lives. I didn't know, but I wasn't prepared. I did not know that how hard that would be, but I just knew I was gonna find a way to get it done. So the only way, to go through the fire is to step in, to get burnt them up out of it. And that's really how that kind of shaped and took me to the path to where I started helping the youth. So I stepped away from college basketball. Then after that, 2 years later, back in Alabama with another job back at Talladega, we ended up back there as a coaching staff. And I remember I had the summer kids. So I had, the kid Mark Vital, who, we'll talk about, later that played at Baylor that just won a national championship. He, I met him when he was 13, but at this time he like 15 at this time. So, it was a situation where we felt like, for him to progress and to do what he needed to do in life, it was time for him to transition out and go, do something on a bigger scale because where he was at, he was the best player where he was at in Lake Charles, Louisiana. So I left my job in Alabama after we played in the there go Mark right down the screen. That's him. So I left I left Alabama the day I played national tournament. I packed up my stuff, got on the road, drove to Lake Charles. I picked Mark up from Lake Charles, packed him up, his mom and all of them, blessings to them and mom and dad because they allowed me to do this. So I picked him up from Lake Charles and then drove on up to Dallas. And we enrolled him in Prime Prep Academy. Like at this time, I don't know how we about to do this, but I know he had to get out of Lake Charles to get to where he was trying to go. He was already committed to Baylor as well, but he wasn't gonna make it to Baylor if we had stayed the course where he was at. So this here had to happen immediately. Because again, remember this is March, so we're in the middle of a school year. He's 2-3 months away from finishing school, but I knew that if he finished that semester with the way those grades was looking, it was going to be too hard of a fight to catch up those next 2 years. So I pulled him out in the middle of the year so we could go change that then and then have a fresh start for it going into his junior year next year. So we came to Dallas, man, with nothing, man. We didn't know where we were going to live. We ain't know nothing. I just packed up the next day, picked him up in Lake Charles, drove to Dallas. My mom had a townhouse. I remember I had a room upstairs in her townhouse, Mark seat on her living room. I had an air mattress in the living room. He slept on the living room air mattress. And that's kind of how we, figured it out to the end. Then we transitioned to my stepdad's house over in Mesquite on the other side of Dallas. And then, he finally got a room to sleep with a real bed. But then, like, a few weeks later, I ended up moving in like 5 more kids who needed opportunities or whatever from other areas that needed these same opportunities. I moved like 5 more kids. We all living with my stepdad at the time. I got 2 kids in this room, 2 in this one in the living room type situation. I still hadn't had my own setup yet. Again, no money, no job. I know I'm gonna help these kids and we're gonna figure out, what I'm saying? And then by the grace of God.
Hold on. We gotta applaud that because who does that? Like who takes time out of their schedule and takes their life and pretty much sacrifices everything that they have to help these kids. You don't even have a roof over your own head to call your own. You don't even have a job of your own, but yet you took the time and you were ambitious enough to say, you know what, I'm gonna help these kids get to where they gotta go. I mean, that's to be applauded, man. That's huge.
And like I say, Ken, I started with nothing. So me not having nothing, I was used to not having nothing. So at the end of the day, I was cool. I just didn't know at the time. I didn't know how these kids would respond to it, but we got our own house that following year, and then that's how I ended up moving in the house that I'm in to this day that I'm sitting in now. I had 7 kids under one roof, man. Like figuring it out over 3 year span, over 24 kids and live under this roof. And
Wow.
everyone that finished with me ended up in college for free.
So let's talk about that though, right quick. Name some of these names of these kids, because some of these names, people, if they know basketball, they've heard of these kids before.
Okay. Man, I might get auction this house out. Man, I had some names that slept under this roof, man. Again, we started, like I say, Mark Viter Jr. He just won a national championship at Baylor, big time. I mean, the winningest player in Big 12 history and Baylor history, as a basketball player. And he's about to graduate on Saturday. We'll talk about that as well. Tyreke Smith, who went to Texas Tech, who's now transferring over to Oklahoma State since his coach took the job. So he's at Oklahoma State. He lives here as well. Who else stayed on the roof? Skylar Mays, who went to LSU, who's now playing with the Atlanta Hawks. He slept on this roof. I had Terrence Ferguson here off and on a little bit. Who was also a first-round draft pick with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Had the Billy Preston of the world, who was one of the top players in the country at the time, played Kansas. Stevie J, y'all know the TV personality Stevie J. His son, slept nights over here as well. He went on to play ball at Rider University. He's doing his thing now. Trayvon Duval, who also played at Duke, who's now on his NBA, chasing his NBA dreams as well. Man, this house had a lot of people, step foot in and sleep some good nights over here. You know what I mean?
That's a lot of talent. That's a lot. That's a lot of talent. Like I mean, low key. Like I said, if people know basketball, that's a lot of talent to come from your house. That you took a chance on these kids and were trying to help these kids. That's a lot of talent, man. And that's a heck of a success rate to be able to get that many kids, you know what I'm saying, through high school and into a college. And then these kids are not only, made it to college, they're in professional ranks.
Yeah. I'd say some came in. Javonte Smart that played at LSU that's going into the draft this year. Here's another one that stayed here off and on. Man, I got some more, bro. But like I say, with Mark and Tyreke, they stayed full time year round. That was, summer ball, school ball, and a lot of others, man. It's like 24 total for sure.
That's amazing. And see, people, that's kind of one of the things that I wanted to highlight, because you don't know how selfless you have to be in order to make these sacrifices. So for me, I saw, some of this because he lives not too far from me. So I would see these boys walking down the street. And I recall one day, one of my sons was outside and he was like, "Dad, I just saw this really, really tall kid walking down the street." I'm like, "What tall kid?" So I go outside and look, it's Billy Preston walking down the street. It's about 3 of them. And if you know who I'm talking about, Billy Preston, these guys are 6'9", 6'10", not your average height, walking down the street. Yeah. So with that being said, and my son's throwing off because I'm 6'5". So if he's thrown off by these people because they're like much bigger than me. But I would see these kids, and I would see Boog sometimes. If I'd be outside, he'd blow the horn, and he had like all these kids in the vehicle with him, and I'd be like, "Man, where he going with all these kids?" And I didn't really know until sometimes he would document it on social media, and he would show these kids at home eating pizza or trips to Walmart, and the things that he had to sacrifice and do for these kids. That, like I said, if you go to his social media, you scroll through there, which I'll be doing anyway. Y'all be going through people's social media anyway. Scroll through and look at and just follow his story. I'm gonna tell you something else that's interesting too, right quick. While I was talking to Daci before the show, I went all the way through Boog's IG timeline. So I'm gonna show you the progression of somebody, because at one point Boog was like that guy getting 3 likes. He was posting pictures, get 3 likes, 1 like, no like. You know what I'm saying, on some pictures, and I'm like, see the progression and the growth, because you go and you see pictures now. He got on there 1,500 likes, 800,000 likes. That's for those of us who are keen on social media. That's growth.
Mm-hmm.
That's growth. And that's just social media. Like I said, we're gonna get to all the other big things that he does, but just see the growth in somebody. And I've been able to, have a front row seat kind of and watch him go through these steps. Now you see why I'm inspired by his story, because I got a chance to watch it.
Yeah,
And he can talk to you about. I think he might have a little documentary or story, coming. So you know what I'm saying. So you all will be able to see everything that we talked about tonight. You all will be able to see it play out.
Yeah.
oh yeah, got something on the way, man. In the works. Oh, in the works. No money, no money.
So, but we're gonna get to the good stuff too, because I know a lot of people, when we posted the advertisement for the show, they saw president of operations, Young Money. They didn't
Mm-hmm.
see APAA Sports. They saw Young Money. They
Mm-hmm.
saw the chain. they see the shirts. So, for a lot of people, that's the part that they're interested in, and rightfully so. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. So let's transition to that and explain to the people, how did you even get involved with Young Money? Like, where did you start out with that?
Bruh, this basketball, Ken, this damn basketball, the guy gave me has taken me everywhere and done everything. So again, I'm having all these elite kids, and like I didn't name the names, you heard them. So at that point, sports agents and people are always calling, trying to figure out. They know that they got problems on them. How can we get involved? How can we this, that, and other? I didn't know much about it, but my mentor did. He was deep in it. So like, I would meet all these people, and they always try to get close to me, thinking that I could help them sign these players later. But I didn't understand the business. I was just helping the kids. I didn't understand none of that. So bro, met a agent here after our school had shut down. So our kids had moved on. I had one left with me, Tyreek, who was actually the baby of the crew. And at the time, I'm trying to figure out life. Our school shut down. Got kids that still want to play basketball. So actually, what I did, I kept the school running for a whole another year just so they could have a season. So I funded it out of my own pocket. You know what I'm saying? Just
Wow.
hustling and doing things so I could get them kids. I had seniors that was looking forward to coming back playing the next year. But when the school shut down, everything was pretty much done for them. So I had to get them an opportunity to get through that senior year some way, somehow. It wasn't pretty by far, but they got to play a lot of games. They got to travel a little bit and play some good competition.
So was
And
that the
then
transition from prime prep
prime
to
prep to API.
API? Okay.
Yep. Because you remember they shut prime prep down. And then
Right.
Yep.
then we transferred to API. Then after that, they shut API down a year later. So that last little crowd, I took them and played one more year with them. And like I say, I fundraised, I trained kids, I did everything, legal, illegal, whatever, to make sure they got through that season. And I had I had to dig in my old bag of tricks to, to make some things happen. You know what I mean? But by any means, again, I'm a by any means necessary type of guy. I'm gonna do it if it makes sense to me. I'm with it. So got them through that year. School shut down. And at this time, like I said, I'm like 3 days away. I ain't paid my mortgage in probably a year almost. I'm barely keeping
Wow.
the lights on. I'm putting my money into keeping the kids playing and all this, that, and other. And then we didn't have gym home, so even when we practiced or we played games, I had to pay for gym time to use gyms for these kids. So everything was an expense at that time. Then after that, I got a notice. I'm 72 hours away. The bank want to sell my house, this, that, and the other. And I met this one agent who I know, was interested and he was young, ambitious, trying to get started in the sports world. And he wanted to do big things. And me and my mentor reached out to him and told him, look, man, we need a lot of help. There's a lot of this going on. I'm behind. So we were able to sit down, figure some things out. And look, man, I help you be successful. You want to be successful? I help you. Everything that you're missing, I got. You know what I'm saying? That's relationships. That's being able to relate to these kids. That's being able to go sit down in these parents' homes and convince them that we're going to do the best thing by them. At that time, I had already, watched my OG miss out on two kids that he sent off to go be great and get paid. And I watched them get screwed over. So I started learning the agent business and how cutthroat it is, how much they take these kids from the people who raise them. And then when they get them, they
Mm-hmm.
pretty much tear families apart, try to lock in on the kid. Like they were doing a lot of stuff. I'm like, bro, that's not cool. So I like, we need to do our own thing, because we gonna keep raising these kids up, putting them in position, and we get them out to somebody else to go just run off and do whatever. Then I bet we don't hear from them no more.
Right.
So I had a relationship with Mac Main, who's the president of Young Money Entertainment, been with Lil Wayne since they were kids, who's also my blood cousin. You know what I'm saying? His grandmother, my grandmother's sister. And he had already came to one of our tournaments before, so he's seen the elite. He like, bro, this not real high school basketball, bro. These players ain't normal. Like, so he knew, like, we had some fire. So I was able to take the agent, Adi, who's with APAA, who had APAA Sports at the time. They're Anheuser-Busch heirs. They the one, his grandfathers started Anheuser-Busch, Budweiser. They own all the SeaWorlds. Like the 17th wealthiest family in the world, worth like 13.4 billion. But he,
wait a minute,
you know,
he said they own SeaWorld.
all SeaWorld, Busch Gardens, all Busch Stadium, you know,
Wow.
Anheuser-Busch, you know, that's all them. So he come from like generational wealth and born into this money, but he wanted to make his own mark. He didn't want to just be the trust fund baby. He wanted to build something that he loves sports. So, and once I realized they had a lot of family values, because they started APA, which stands for the Four Brothers, you know, so that's how they started APA Sports. Lil Wayne, Mac Main, Cortez Bryant, they started from, you know what I'm saying, 17th Walker, Holly Grove, New Orleans, you know, and they built, you know, coming up under the Cash Money umbrella, and they built Young Money as a branch of that, which became, you know, the second most successful record label to this day in history of hip hop. You know, that's where the Drakes and the Nicki Minaj's and, you know, all that come from under that umbrella. So they had a family structure too. So I was able to be the glue. Me and my OG was to sit here and bring two worlds together, two totally different worlds: old money, new money, young money. So, and it made sense because they had the same family values. So that's how the sports agency came about. Because Wayne didn't want to do sports, because they had all these athletes that were making it, that was making all this money, but they were always getting screwed over again by these people who was taking them and put them in position. They always, you know what I'm saying, needing loans or having bad finance issues. So they leaning on Wayne to help them figure out their finances. He's like, bro, y'all making too much money for this, for y'all to be screwed up. Like, so that's why he like, I want to get involved and see how we can help our brothers. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm tired of them getting to this point, making all these millions, and then I got to figure out how to make them more money because something went wrong somewhere. So then again, so that was the best thing for me, because I got people who grinded, got it out the streets, built an empire. You know what I'm saying? And me, I say typically from the streets. I got this whole family over here that's real conservative. You know what I'm saying? They come from money, got more money than the law should allow type situation. Two totally different worlds, opposites attract, but same vision, same mindset of wanting to help, wanting to, you know, put people in position, wanting to empower. And they've opened doors for me and also my family, you know, from the Young Money side that we never knew existed, that we able to just walk in doors and get things done on the strength of who they are, their family name, and the relationship that they already have. So every player that I bring into this, you know, to this business, like they have these same outlets and these same relationships that I have, they have them now. So that's kind of how the sports thing came about. That's how you get Young Money, APAA Sports, you know, put two words together, made it one.
That's big. That's kind of big, man. You know, and like he said, we're not talking about, you know, two regular entities coming together. We're talking about two already monumental entities on their own, combining to make one with the sports agency. And here you are, the young dude who got it out the mud, who's been struggling, who's had all these obstacles in life that you've overcome. Now you were the title president of operations.
And with that being said, this is the message I want to pass off on that. Is basically what I figured out years ago. Because I done been in the streets. I done got money in the streets. I done got money in the corporate office. I done did pretty much all that. But what I started understanding was that as fast as I would get it, I would lose it. Or I would spend it. I would just, you know what I'm saying? It was something that always happened. So I got to a point in my life where I backed away from chasing money. I stopped chasing money a long time ago. And even like when I was giving to these kids, like if I had to go do something for money, it was just because I had to feed them, or I had to. They need haircuts. They need, you know, shoes, clothes for school. They need you know, I got to put gas in the car to get them back and forth. They got to eat every day. So, but my money was never motivation for me getting there. It was the fact of that I learned that, you know, once you chase your passion, you turn your passion and your purpose meet, it turns into profit. So I knew that if I just be the best at what I do, which again, that resume that I had built over those years of all those kids, I didn't really understand what it was about until it came time. And then when that opportunity came, I was ready for it. I stayed ready, so I didn't have to get it. So really, when they came to my starting a sports agency, who else better than starter than the guy who already got the kids that's about to be pros? So I had my body of work and my resume that I poured my heart into had already set me up for my next phase in life. Because I always thought I was about to go off one day and be an assistant coach in college, at some point, and ride out that dream of being a college coach. I thought that's what I wanted to do. But then God had something different. He put me on this path, and I could, like, at this point, I'm so grateful that I didn't go be a college coach, that it panned out the way it do now. With all, I could be myself, I could be who I am, and I could still be successful in this space, and I have to sacrifice the person that I am. I could wake up every day with a good head on my shoulders, knowing that, I'm me. And I realized how much of a blessing that is, that you understand. Just when you can wake up and be yourself at your job, and you can be yourself at home, you can be yourself wherever you at in public, like that. That's a weight lifted off my shoulders. I don't have to pretend. I don't have to pretend to be something. I can tell you about my ugly past and not be judged for it. And people still rock because they know it's the truth. So that's what I figured out, man. Just I had mastered being ready, so I didn't have to get ready. And when those opportunities presented itself, I already stepped into that role. So if I wasn't prepared for that, though, I wouldn't have been able to take a family of that stature and another, record label of that stature and put the two together. Because who gonna listen to you if you ain't done the work already? The work is already done.
Daci, got any questions so far?
I just wanted to know, like, what motivates you, because honestly, like, being like basically a dad to some kids that aren't yours biologically, and then you're doing all these things like hustling. Like, I used to work with some youth, and I miss doing things for them, because some of them, they came from nothing. So I get that part of it, but what makes you get up in the morning and say, okay, I got to go do this for these kids?
A lot of it came from just always want to prove others wrong, but prove myself right also. Because you got to understand what I did, Daci. I took some kids from the state of Louisiana that people killed me for it. Why are you taking these? Some like the most elite, best kids that they were. So that's their entertainment, to watch these high school kids play ball in the elite. But wasn't nobody helping them get their grades together. Wasn't nobody going run to the schools, meeting with counselors and meeting with, teachers. I'm getting up every morning. I'm at school, make sure he get to school an hour early so he could catch up on his work. So I didn't care what they. So when I took these kids from Louisiana and brought them to Texas, oh man, they killed me for it. It ain't gonna work out. School is this, That kid gonna be right back here. So that drove me every day. Like, I can't let this fail, because I know they waiting on this. They back home. They waiting on this to crumble. So even when it got rough and they got to the point where I just felt like I couldn't figure stuff out, I always had to remember, well, you can't let this fail. Like, you can't send them kids back. Because if you send them back, they're really going back to nothing with nothing. So like, what was all this for at the end of the day? And I'm the type of guy, like I say, I'm a fighter. So I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna fight. So I'm gonna figure out, like, when I go so far, I don't believe in turning back. Like, I'm going. Like, and whatever lies on the other side of that door, so be it. But we're gonna get to the other side of that door, whatever it was. So it was a lot of that too, of them, and the fact of, like I said, I had a dream thinking one day I might be in college. So if I quit now, my dream is over. And I want to retire my mom early and my dad early. That was my dream. I felt like that was my way of get to that level. So whatever came with it, I just had to take it. And at the time, I had already been through what I've been through, so it didn't scare me to go through it with nothing. I just couldn't let them crumble and go back home with nothing after I had uprooted them and convinced them to come to Texas. So yeah, it was no way I could let that fail. No way.
Jeez.
And let me tell y'all something too. This guy drives all over the place. When I tell you, literally, like, if you follow his social media, you'll see him in so many cities, flying and going here, going there with the players. But this man don't hesitate to get up, and if one of those kids needs something or somebody needs something, he'll drive from Dallas to Louisiana to go home to visit his family. And don't let his grandma call him, because he definitely going there. I mean, I didn't watch his social media before, and I just seen this dude 2-3 o'clock in the morning. He headed to Louisiana with zero sleep. He ain't slept in 2 days, but he's still driving. Then he got to catch a plane the next day, so he got to drive back to Dallas and then get on the plane. Like, I'm telling y'all, like, this guy, the sacrifices he makes for people around him, everything that he has that is going amazingly well for him is earned. None of this was given. Every single thing he has, it's earned. And that's the inspiration behind the story. He's earned everything that he has, literally. like this right here. See what I'm saying? I'm gonna stun on him for a minute. See how many of y'all take pictures like that?
Oh,
How many of y'all could take pictures like that? You know what I'm saying? Like y'all can't take pictures like that. So see, he's worked, he put in the work, and now he's reaping the rewards. So I want you to tell the people right quick, just give them a few names of some of the clients that you have with Young Money APAA.
Again, of course, on like the entertainment side, Lil Wayne, Drake, Nicki Minaj. Even though Drake is doing branched off doing his own thing, he's still family. For Young Money for life. On our sports side, we got the big time guy. We got Willie Cauley-Stein, who's a Dallas Maverick here. He plays here. Number 6 overall pick in the NBA draft. In his draft class. Just last year we had Isaac Okoro, who was the number 5 overall draft pick, our first top 5 NBA pick in the history since we started the agency, going into year 4 that year. He plays for the Cleveland Cavaliers out of Auburn University. Again, this year we just signed, we got Mark Vital Jr. out of Baylor, who just won a national championship. We got Marcus Garrett this year in the draft class, who from Kansas University. And we got Charles Bassey, who's a projected first-round pick out of Western Kentucky. Got Kiki QT, the receiver from the Texans. D.D. Westbrook, who's a receiver for the Jaguars, man. Darius guys. Man, it's so many, bro.
Oh, you gotta say one name, Jalen Hurts. I know y'all know who Jalen Hurts is.
Who's starting quarterback for Eagles, out of Alabama, Oklahoma, that situation. Like, bro, man.
Y'all got a lot. Y'all got a lot of clients, man. A lot of great clients.
McCole Hardman and DeMarcus Robinson, both receivers for the Kansas City Chiefs, both the Super Bowl champions. And McCole's also a Pro Bowler. Like I said, they'll say Jaron Reed, who played with the Seahawks, who's now with the Chiefs. Bro, this is pretty deep. Corey Davis Jr. out of University of Houston. Man, it's Malik Newman.
Corey Davis was one of your kids that you had when he was younger, right?
Yep, I had Corey took his freshman year in high school on that Southern Elite team. Who, like I said, he went on to do great things at Houston. He went JUCO first out of again, and that's being at Louisiana. He had to take a solid situation, turn it into sugar. Because again, a lot of those Louisiana kids end up having to go the junior college route, like myself, because we just don't know no better. Nobody was able to structure it for us. So that was my reason of pulling those kids from Louisiana and bringing them to Texas. Because if you watch like say Mark Vita and Tyreek Smith, those guys, they didn't have to go the JUCO route. They stepped right into Division I programs because we were able to structure their academic situation the way it needed to be to get through the NCAA clearinghouse. So Corey had to go and grind and get it out the mud too. And then he went to San Jack Junior College, then went from there 2 years at Houston, and was one of the most successful teams that University of Houston ever had until this year, that Final Four run. But he laid the foundation for that program to continue to excel the way it is. He had one of the best seasons in college basketball here. And he's overseas right now. He had a stint with the Washington Wizards in the NBA. Now he's overseas in France, playing in the top league over there, making his way back, trying to get back into the NBA at this point.
Okay. Daci, you got any other questions?
Yeah. Do you recommend that they go overseas? Like, what's the difference? Because I used to date a basketball player who played overseas. Yes, I'm not name dropping though, but he know who he is. Y'all know who he is if you pay attention to my social media. But like, I know that it's like money wise, in my opinion, it wasn't that great over there. It was like a great experience for him or whatever. But do you recommend that they go if that's like their only option?
With that question, it's many parts of that because there's so many different levels overseas. There's a lot of guys that are playing overseas, but there's like the elite of the elite overseas, and there's some that's trying to just get their foot in the door and work their way up overseas. Like, so a lot of my guys are borderline NBA guys, so like they could still play in the NBA, but maybe they just didn't, because of roster needs or whatever, they just didn't make that cut. So it's like, well, instead of sitting at home, I'm just gonna go overseas and go make $100,000 a month, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
So some of these guys, I got guys right now that's overseas that's making $3 million a year, tax free, in China. So it depends on that situation. So if you're a borderline NBA guy and you just and nothing's happening for you in the NBA at the time, I suggest you go over there, go get all the tax free money you can make, still play, and then work your way back into the NBA. And, if that's part of your route or your path, if you're blessed to do that, make your way back. But a lot of these guys that I have, they make great livings overseas. Like, they setting up their whole life off of what they're making over there, right? At this point in time.
Yeah. So you recommend like it's still conditioning themselves to go and play, and then if they can come back, come back.
Come back, right? If not, still, if you can't, go pilot the money over there. You know, and then come back and set up, the rest of your life. But if not, but yeah, if you got an opportunity, man, it's lucrative for some of those who are like I say that right there. It's very lucrative, man. Like I said, you got to make $3 million untaxed. That's more than the average salary in the NBA right now. Because after the NBA hit you, whatever, then they tax you, and it's that another you're not walking home. You're not walking away with $3 million at the end of the year unless you one of those guys in the league. But the 12th man through and all that, man, they making $1 million. You know, the league minimum is what, like $600,000 to $700,000. You know, this guys will make more money than some guys in the NBA right now.
Yep.
True.
Yeah, that's where I'm trying to go. I'm trying to get back overseas. You know what I'm saying? I'm still trying to hoop.
Let it go.
You know what I'm saying?
You got buckets left, man. You got one more player.
You can be an agent.
I still got that jumper. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
Boston.
there's a chance. Maybe there's a chance.
Boston.
Not really.
Them knees don't crack. Okay.
I always tell them I got one stop left in me. If you need me, call me. But I got one stop left in me, bro. I can get down and get you one stop. You know what I'm saying? But out there, it's over with.
Facts.
Wheelchair Chronicles.
Maybe so. Well, people, we're gonna get ready to wrap up. But before we wrap up, we want to give Boog an opportunity to, you know what I'm saying, give some motivational talk. Because again, go follow him. But when you follow him, he gonna give you some motivational talks. He gonna give you some rants. He gonna give you some things, some jewels to take with you. But Boog, if you could leave the people with some motivational advice today, talk to the people, let them know something. Leave them with something.
I live by just, man, I'm me, and what you see is what you get. And I wake up every day and just be myself. At the end of the day, I understand that my route has always been designed to be different from everybody else's route. Run your own race. You know what I'm saying? Stay in your lane. Don't watch nobody else's race and try to figure out why your race is not going how their race is going, because yours is designed specifically from you. Now, if you're watching other people race, maybe take something from it that can help you along your way. I've learned that, but other than that, man, I run my own race. I trust the process. Everything is a process. And with me, it's more so, like I said, I went through an 8-9 year span of not having nothing, having to figure it out every single day. Like every day was a life or death situation for me, almost in some cases. Either you're gonna survive or you're gonna be put out your house and you're gonna be trying to figure out life type situations for like 8-9 years. Even with the little support I didn't have. So, but understand that is some people gonna take the elevators. I took the stairs. I'm cool with taking the stairs. Because what I learned that when I took the stairs, a lot of people who took those elevators, their elevator went down as I was on my way to the top. And then when I got to the top, I learned something on every step. So whether it was the right thing or the wrong thing, I learned something. Mm-hmm. I didn't bypass the lesson. And so that's why a lot of people elevators get to the top and they come back down fast because they missed the lessons on the way. With me, it was take every step, learn something along the way. And then when I got to the top, I plan on staying there because everything that I learned along the way, I could utilize that and facilitate it from where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have to take a step back, and I continue to keep moving forward. And at the end of the day, too, is, if you got a dream, you know what I'm saying? If you still got breath in your body, like you chase that dream. You don't die the day they put you in the casket. You die the day that you stop chasing your dream. At the minute you stop dreaming, you're no longer living. So no matter what it is, like if you aspire to do something, you know what I'm saying, put your time into it, put your heart into it, and then and see how it works for you. It's beauty in the struggle, man. The journey is the best part. Because when I look back on everything, I sit back and I'm like, dang, look how far we done came. Like that's the best part when you get there. And like I said, I got those same two kids, Mark and Tyreek. They here now, going for their next phase. Like they here now, they over in the other room now. Just to see that come back full circle after all you've been through, and just coming home to, what I'm saying, no lights, or we got to get through the night with no lights, or or the water off, whatever it is. Get the next day to them to be able to come back now and understand it's totally different night. We ain't worried about getting cut off. We know we're gonna eat every day. You know what I'm saying? We know we're gonna do this, that, and other. And not only that, they got their own money now. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just joking with them the other day. They bought me food the other day. So I used to always be the one trying to buy the food. And Mark came in and they bought me a pair of Jordans that ain't came out there. Something like, man, y'all, boy, life has really changed for everybody around here, I see. You know what I'm saying? So those processes, man, going through it and getting through it, and then, seeing it do what it's supposed to do. And again, shout out to Mark, because he's about to be the first person in his family to graduate college on Saturday. So he just broke a generation of curses. for like his kids, grandkids, everything. Their life will never be the same again. He's about to get a private school degree from a top 50 university in the world, and he's the first one to do it. So like everybody after him, even his city of Lake Charles, will look at this different. Like things will never be the same again because of the struggle he went through and the sacrifices he made in the foundation he laid. He just changed a whole lot to come behind him. Like that's And at the end of the day, you look back, like that's what we took the stairs for. You know what I'm saying? To get to where we at.
And that's huge, people. So you all heard the inspirational story. If you listen to this interview today and you weren't inspired, something wrong with you, because he did everything he could possibly do to not only make himself better, but help others. And that's the main thing. When you're climbing, if you're helping everybody else and extending your arms out to other people as well, when you get to the top, you're more than likely going to stay there because you did things the right way. And you took, like you said, you took the stairs. You learned those lessons. You took some losses, but you learned from those losses along the way. And the journey is what it's all about. Man, we appreciate having you today. We appreciate you telling your story, sharing everything with us. He didn't know I had these pictures that I was flashing up. I just did that, because I wanted to add some context, give you all some little visuals. But we appreciate it, man. And we definitely gonna have to have him back again because he's so well connected. And hopefully, as he climbs, he don't forget about the little people like us, and we can, interview him again when he's, at that next level, when he's no longer the president of operations. He got his own stuff that's with his name on. I'm telling you, he got some big stuff coming. So we're gonna make sure we keep y'all locked in. But we appreciate it, man. And we're gonna let you get up out of here. All right. Oh,
man,
here we go.
Thank y'all.
Let the people know how to find you on social media.
Okay. Instagram handle is YM_Boog BOOG 32. So it's YM Young Money _Boog 32. And on Twitter it's HBoog 32 on Twitter. And also when we talk about things that in the making, you got Young Money APAA Sports handle as well. We handle that. Got Nightlife Productions, which is THED Night with a K, KNIGHT Life LIFE.TV. That's also something that's big. That's on the way that we, media production company that we helping, with these guys, teaching these young black fellas how to take their money and their likeness and own their own content, have ownership of everything that they put their name and their face on. So we're working on that as well. That's, a space that we're trying to grow in. So y'all tune into that as well. Nightlife Production.
That's what's up, y'all. Hey, Hellion Boogie Night, Young Money Boog. We appreciate it, bro.
Thank you.
Love.
And y'all see, I had to throw the picture up there. You know what I'm saying? He supported your boy. He did the little photo shoot. Let me tell you something. When Boog do something, he don't just do it. He do it, right? So he got the shirt. And I'm thinking he just gonna post, a little picture in the shirt. My guy did a whole photo shoot. He does whole photo shoots and he supports black businesses. So if you got a black business and you own your stuff, follow this man. He gonna inspire you. And if you got some good product, he gonna support you. That's one thing that I know for sure. Daci, what we gotta talk about before we get up out of here? Let the people know something.
Well, first of all, thank you, Boog, for coming through and blessing us. Like I was over here taking notes. Like, yes, okay, yeah. So what? Yeah, okay. I'm gonna say before I get into my promo codes, because I got some that from a personal experience, y'all need to live and chase your daydream. Okay, chase your daydream. I'm over here. I've been daydreaming for months, and the Daci J collection is coming. So stay on the lookout. And Boog, if you buy lashes or you got a lady in your life, you need to holler at me to get some lashes for the lady in your life. You might want to buy Nikki some Daci J collection lashes. I'm just saying. And I'll have a special promo code for you as well. But my girl Rainy, she got some dope products, y'all. So get at her. She has a special code for the Fiyah session, and it's Fiyah. Get 10% off your purchase. It is worth it. please go over to www.runnies/romance.com to get you some items. Get your mama some candles, get you some little lingerie and stuff.
You might get it.
Also,
You might got them roses back in the stock. Y'all go check out them roses.
y'all might wanna get in my girl because she keeps them roses in stock. Okay, she also takes pre-sale orders. So hey, if you're trying to get a rose, get at my girl. Juvia's Place is having a big sale. They're introducing like a new line of brushes. I just so happen to have some. I forgot to bring them so I can show you. But anyway, they're doing a sale. It's 60% off. You don't need a promo code. I'm wearing Juvia's Place right now. Go get you some Juvia's Place. Now, the Daci J Show season 2 is coming. It's dropping on Sunday. Special episode with my mom for Mother's Day. And then we're going to bring my girl Carmen. She's coming back for recaps. We're going to be talking about the Housewives of Atlanta. Like, it's going to be so good. And then we're having cocktails with the cousins. Y'all, my cousin's about to cut up for y'all, okay? I cannot wait to drop these shows. When I tell you, y'all gonna be like, what? Season 2 is about to be everything. I also have a male commentator to kind of help y'all get y'all dating life perspective in order. I'll let y'all know when he coming on. Y'all gonna be like, what is going on? Yes, I'm still on my spiritual journey. Please stay out my DMs. Leave me alone. I am good. I'm not posting or talking about relationships because I'm not in one and I want to keep it this way, okay? But I'm not salty because I still believe in love and it's coming back to me when I feel like it. So stop forcing yourself into my DM. You will get blocked. If you want to follow me, you can reach me at I am Daci J. That's my personal Instagram. Or you can go over to the Daci J Show Instagram. Also, stop trying to follow me on Snapchat, Ken.
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, it's kind of hard to follow that because she said everything, you know what I'm saying? They sold y'all some products and probably sold y'all a dream too because some of y'all still gonna go on her inbox. But anyway, y'all already know. Y'all can holler at me every day, all day. Big Ken's Comedy on IG, Big Ken's Comedy on Twitter, Big Ken's Comedy on Facebook. You can even send me a friend request at Kenneth Boston. And if you catch me on the right day, I might accept that too. If you're a real person, because I'm going to go through your page first, of course. But that's just what I do. But also, you know what? I'm on my journey. Y'all. Y'all see the shirt. It says by any means necessary, Big Ken. Y'all see the hat. Hashtag, you see it. I got a lot of stuff in the works and on the way. Keep following my timelines and you'll see the products pop up. If you see something you like, holla at your boy and support me. I'm going to show y'all some love. We're going to do some big things. And again, each week we come to you 7:30 on Thursday with something great. Next week, we got something big for y'all. We got Ladies Night Out. We got the ladies, all ladies, they're going to be talking about what they want in a man. Like, so fellas, ladies tune in to chime in. Fellas, if you want to know the tea, if you want to know the tips, if you want to know what the ladies is looking for, tune in next Thursday at 7:30. The following Thursday, we're going to have Dudes Night Out. So we're going to have the dudes on, talk about what they want in a woman. And some of y'all ladies really need to tune in because y'all definitely need help.
First of all, though, why you telling in this disclaimer? Don't turn into the person that we asked for.
I don't know, but just tune in.
Ministry.
Just tune in.
It's not your ministry.
You'll tune in and you'll learn something from either show. Every week, Thursday, 7:30, we hear the Fiyah session. Y'all already know. Everybody talk about everything is lit, but here is Fiyah, the Fiyah Session podcast. Peace.